Everyone, it's Jared Holst from IronHistory.com. I got a new friend of mine here, Barney Pugach. Hopefully I said that right. And Barney's been living a life of weightlifting and bodybuilding and collecting for decades. And we started talking because we're both kind of collectors. And I found out that he has some really fun stories, that he was been to many of the meccas of what we consider the Golden Age of Bodybuilding. And he grew up in New York City. So I just thought it'd be fun. He started telling me his stories. I heard a little of them, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of record it because I was having such a good time. I thought it might be, he might have a good time sharing them. And so, Barney, why don't we start off like just tell me where you grew up? And
I grew up in the Bronx and near Parkchester, and I moved to Queens about when I was 14. And then I moved out, then I went into the Navy, and that's when I, was out in California, and then came home, got married, moved to Nassau County, a place called Franklin Square.
Okay. What year were you born, Barney?
49.
49, okay. And when did you start getting into bodybuilding, weight training? What was like your first introduction?
64.
Yeah, and what got you into it?
Well, I used to hang out with these guys from junior high school, and they were all like bigger than me. I mean, I weighed maybe seriously 99 pounds, and these guys were weighing 140, 150, and they used to beat up on me.
You weren't even the 98-pound weakling. You were the 99 pound. 99.
You want to know something? I'm gonna tell you. I'm thinking about writing a book. After 62 years of working out, I'm still a B4.
I find I think it kind of does a wave sometimes. It goes up and then down. I don't know. You said some.
So these guys, they would bully me. I would, eat it up, just suck it up. And I used to say, one day I'm going to get bigger than you guys, and I started training. And, eventually, I got a little bit bigger, but, not to the point where I could beat them up. I was out of, I lost touch with them when I went into high school. They went to a different high school. So I really didn't keep in touch. But
where did you work out first? Where, like, at home or gym or?
Yeah, I lived in an apartment with my parents, and I bought my father got me a Hoffman York, was it 444-pound set.
That's a good starter set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had one even before that. It was like a set of 20 pounds, but then, I got the bigger set, and I worked out in my parents' apartment. I got a York bench up, with the stands, incline, and everything.
Nice.
And I worked out. And then Community Health Center, which was one of the gyms featured in Pumping Iron, where Louis...
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
In Jamaica, Queens, I started training there. I was like the first member in, it was April 66. And I was the first member there.
Really? How'd you get the first member? Did you...
What happened was I went to this high school, and I was hooked up with this guy. We used to train at the gym in our school. They had bare minimum weights there. And he lived down the block from where they were opening Community Health Center. And he told me about it. So we said, hey, we're going to join. So we went up there. They were still doing the interior. It was a storefront. It was long, narrow storefront. And him and I were like the first members.
Wow, it's funny. You say it's in Pumping Iron. It almost looks like it's in a basement. It's so dark in there. And Louis lived. No, wasn't it? No. Okay.
No. Well, it didn't really have windows.
Oh, okay. That's why.
There was a store to the right of it and a store to the left. The only windows were in the front, and there was a door that was open in the back, and that was it. There was no skylight or anything. Mm-hmm. But they had a lot of famous people coming through there, like Tinerino, Jimmy Morris, Oh, Chris Dickerson was there all the time.
When you were young, like when you were started, you were 14, 15, or that was 64. That's pretty early for them, maybe.
Yeah, no, well, actually, that gym opened in '66.
Okay, so you're 16.
So I think Dickerson was definitely there. I stayed there
17.
until the end of '68 because that's when I went into the Navy. And I'm pretty sure Dickerson was there. And then when I got out of the Navy, I got back to New York in about May '73. I started training there again, and Tenorino was there. I think Dickerson was still there. Jimmy Morris was there, and a couple of other locals.
So when you were like 14, 15, did you start buying the magazines?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I had some collection. Oh yeah, it just grew and grew, you know.
Yeah, were you more of a Weeder guy or a York guy at the time?
I was more of a Weeder because his advertisements attracted me. You know, like I could build a 18-inch arm in a month with a Scott bench. Oh yeah, I went out and got a Scott bench. You know, and
I mean, you were a target audience.
I got my apartment and everything, you know, and let's see. Then I went in, like I said, I went into the Navy, and I was stationed in California. So, you know, all those guys.
Yeah, let's get to that. But you were telling me that you went to all the early Mr. Olympia contests. Were those was that your first bodybuilding competition that you went to?
No, actually, Mr. Tri-State was in 1964, and actually, what's his name? Zane won that, I believe. On that.
Oh, wow.
And they had a lot of, you know, local guys and guys from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, you know, down the East Coast.
So you wouldn't even have to be from New York or the Tri-State to compete in it? They didn't care.
They just wanted a big show up.
Gotcha.
A lot of guys.
So why don't we talk about the first? So you were at the 1965 first Mr. Olympia that Larry Scott won. You know, it's very famous for how crowded it was, how much the crowd was into it. Can you tell me what memories you have of going to the first show there?
Yeah, I remember that. You know, when the announcer announced Larry Scott, even before he got the words out, the crowd was going crazy, and you see him like coming out of the curtain there on the side, like strutting, you know, like teasing the audience, and he's just taking his time, and he gets up on the stage, and he just stares out into the audience. The flash bulbs were popping. I couldn't even see him. The brightness, the bulbs were blinding me, and he just started doing his poses. It was like you couldn't even hear yourself think.
Yeah.
You know?
That must have been super impressionable you were, how old are you, 15, 16 at the time?
Let's see, about 15, yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Did you go by yourself, or did you go with friends that were with?
No, I went by myself. I went on the subway, and I went on myself. As a matter of fact, there's a shot, a photograph that the photographer took to show the crowd what the crowd was. He took it from the stage, and I was in the aisle, and I was wearing this heavy sweater. I called it my Don Howard sweater because it made me
shoulder,
like I had broad
shoulders. Yeah.
And I couldn't get a seat, but I moved up even the aisles were packed, and I remember walking as far as I could to the front of the stage, and I just sat in the aisle the whole time. There wasn't any room, any place else. And the photographer, I saw him, he was going to take the picture, and I have my hand raised, like waving.
Okay.
And to this day, if you look in that book, Pumping Iron, there's a picture of me doing that.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it right above us. I'm going to find it.
Yes. And then there's another one. I don't think it wasn't the first Olympia. It was the one where they filmed Pumping Iron. I think that was 75. I think that Pumping Iron.
Yeah, the movie. The movie you're talking about.
Excuse me.
For the movie Pumping Iron or the book?
Yeah.
For the filming. So the movie, yeah, 75. Yeah, they filmed it.
And the photographer was there, and we all gathered at the side entrance of the Brooklyn Academy of Music. And I had my buddy up from California. He was staying with me. And we're all leaning up against the car. And the photographer was shooting the crowd from the steps of the side entrance of the academy. And he got my friend really good, with the picture. But you could see me, but like you need a magnifying glass.
Okay. I'll try that one too, see how it'll look. But I'll definitely find the first one. And I'll look for that one also.
Let me know if you have a problem. I'll help you out with that.
Okay. So Dave Draper also posed at the 65, didn't he?
I think he won the Mr. Universe.
I think so, or somebody. I think he was posing. I've seen that video. Did you meet anyone at that? Any of the at the lifters or bodybuilders?
I went up on stage after the show. I just went behind stage. They didn't have security, and I remember seeing Larry Scott and Chuck Sipes, and I'm looking at Scott. I mean, it was incredible. The build, his build, everything was stand out. He wasn't veiny or anything. The shoulders were like what we'd have said cannonball delts, and the biceps just went right into the crook of his elbow, and he had this golden tan that I never saw in anybody else, and his hair was blonde. I mean, really, what an impression. And I remember seeing Sipes. He had like more brown tan, but you could see he was so powerful looking,
Yeah, I mean, Sipes was as powerful as he looked. He was super strong. But
he was the real deal.
I could also imagine coming from New York City and being into that scene and seeing like this cartoon version of Muscle Guy from California, which is what basically Dave Draper and Larry Scott were. I mean, even they weren't really from California, but that's what was projected in the Weeder magazines,
Yep.
Yeah, yep. So that must have been, I can see how it's super impressionable. Did you talk to any of them when you went back there? Or?
Nah. There were too many. There were a lot of people, interviewing and taking pictures, So I got some pictures, but not from backstage. I have my little brownie camera.
Do you have those pictures still?
Yeah, so what, I'll send you a whole bunch. I got a whole bunch.
That'd be awesome.
Who did I meet there? I met, I think, Chet Yorton.
Okay.
And local guys like Warren Fredericks. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I don't know Warren Fredericks. I know Chet Yorton. Yeah.
He was Chet Yorton. Who else? Tony Carroll. I don't know if you probably never. These were local New York guys.
Gotcha.
They were pretty good,
Yeah. And then you, but you also went to was that in the Beacon Theater? Is that where that was held? Brooklyn Academy Music, right.
All the first 3 or 4, 5, I think, were at the Brooklyn Academy.
Right.
I don't even think there was an Olympia at the Brooklyn Academy because at the
Beacon,
Academy, at the Beacon, I think Night of Champions.
Yeah, a lot of stuff later was at the Beacon. Yeah.
But, and then they moved it to Jim Larimer, the Midwest, Cincinnati or something like that.
Columbus, maybe. Columbus was a lot. I mean, I'm not sure. And that's where a lot of stuff is in now. But yeah. But
right.
Yeah. So then you went in '66. Do you have memories? Tell me about '66. So you went.
'66, of course, Scott was there again.
Yeah.
And Scott was there. I think Harold Poole.
Yeah. So Harold Poole came in second, I believe. Right.
Yeah. I mean, he was impressive, but Scott, I mean, you couldn't touch him.
Yeah, he's still the hero there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really don't remember, but I remember the first one, the second one. I don't know if, let's see, I think, what's his name? Was it Reg Lewis? Might have been in the second one.
No, I'm not sure.
And I know he was in one of the Olympias, and he didn't have it.
Yeah. But 67 was a little different, right? Because that's Sergio came in. So do you remember that differently?
Yeah, you know what? I really don't remember,
But you were there, though.
Yeah, Yeah, that was Sergio's first Olympia.
Yeah, I think I told you that when we were talking on the phone last week that I found this film of the '67 Olympia, and I found it just randomly on eBay. It's a little 80mm film, and I searched the internet and I couldn't find it. Even Wayne Glosh didn't have '67, and I got it and I got digitized, and it's like 9 minutes of footage. There's like 2.5 minutes. I put like a preview on YouTube, but the full footage is on IronHistory.com.
Who was in that, Scott?
67. So there's a lot of people. I mean, obviously Sergio is there. I think there's some Draper. There's some Frank Zane. There's some Chuck Sipes. Harold Poole also. God, there's a lot of guys in there. Is Rick Wayne? I'm not sure. But no, yeah. Maybe it wasn't. I'd have to look again, but it's a really good. It's black and white. It should be a better quality, but you can see all their silhouettes and everything, so you know everyone it is. But it's a great video. I was happy I found that.
What I have, I'm looking for it now. I know it's up in the. I got VHS tapes. I got like 6 of them with every bodybuilder from the early 40s up until probably 60s, maybe even more. I want to get them and try to do something with them. Yeah,
so I got a lot of these films recently that I'm having transferred to digital, and I've seen a few other old collectors like you who has them, and I think a lot of them are the same ones. A lot of them were transferred onto VHS, but these ones I'm doing are straight from 8mm, so it's kind of, I think the quality is better than at least the ones I've seen. I've seen some older ones. It's fine. It's a lot of the same footage, some of it, but then at the same time, it was transferred sometimes in the 80s to VHS, and then it's been on the internet at a lower quality. So I'm going straight from 8mm digital, but it might be a lot of the same films. But I'd be curious to see what you have. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I want to find them first.
Yeah.
Stuff up there. And
do you have any of the memories of the later 67, 68, 69 Olympia?
Well, the 69, I remember, of course, Sergio in 68. I think Sergio beat Arnold.
69 is when he beat him. I think 68 he might have been maybe even unchallenged like Arnold was later. I think he might have been the only, or maybe one other competitor. I don't know, but 60. It was 69 when he beat Arnold.
Sergio at one Olympia, nobody wanted to go against him.
I think that's 68, if I recall.
68.
Yeah.
And I remember 69. John DeCola was there. You ever see John DeCola?
I know a name, and I've seen him, but I can't. Yeah.
You got to get on YouTube. Guy's like 86 years old. He looks phenomenal. I mean, they showed him doing one-arm Scott dumbbell curls with 50-pound dumbbells, and then he was doing barbell curls on his Scott. This guy is phenomenal. He's a wealth of information.
Was he an AOBS guy? So did he go to AOBS too? So I think,
I think they started him. I think like 10 years ago. Wow, what a build on him, and a nice man. And he's still training. He's like 86 years old.
Good for him. I saw some pictures of your gym. Are you still training?
No, that's not. You know what? That's not my gym. That's my friend Freddie.
Oh, you're talking about him, right?
Like 10 minutes from me.
Yeah.
He built all that equipment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at it. It looked hardcore, like heavy duty. I mean, but didn't look anything I'd recognized. Yeah.
He welds everything. Everything's on the money. He's a stickler for being precise.
Yeah.
Every piece of equipment. I mean, he'll get a piece of Nautilus equipment. He'll tweak it and everything. I'm telling you. And he was a competitor back in the 70s. I mean, he was phenomenal. He had like 18.25-inch arms. He's 85 now.
Wow.
But he's still strong. I mean, he's all natural his whole life.
Yeah, I was looking at. You sent me those photos, and on the shelf he had some pictures. I think it was him as younger, and it looked impressive. That's what it looked like to me.
On the shelf,
he had some famous people, but then there was 2 people I didn't recognize. Just looked like a young guy. Yeah. I think it might have been him. Yeah.
And when he was growing up, he used to go to Lou Degny's gym. Lou Degny, Mark Forrest.
Yeah, I've seen those names. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, he was born in Brooklyn, but and he grew up in Hollis, Queens. But then later on, he opened a gym in Belrose, Queens. And my friend Freddie used to go there, and he used to see him. He said he was unbelievable. I mean, that's why he got into the Hercules. He was such a good-looking guy.
Mark Forrest, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Forrest, yeah. Well, they changed his name, they're from Degny to Mark Forrest. And, eventually, after all, making about 5 of them, I think, or maybe more Hercules, he got out of the showbiz, and he moved to California and became an opera coach.
It's funny. There's a few different lifters and bodybuilders that here are really into opera. Like, that's the thing that's come up a bunch. Like, there's, John Davis, Dave Shepard, I think Pete George. I mean, there's some. I think it's a thing for some reason.
Wait, Dave Shepard?
I think he was into opera, wasn't he? No.
I don't think so.
All right, maybe not. Well, you wouldn't think that about. No, we would think about. Who was? Davis. Yeah, John Davis was. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know Shepard.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Pete George only. I don't know. But there's definitely been a handful of people that you wouldn't think were into opera that were really into it. Yeah, don't quote me on that.
Yeah, there was one guy, he was already into Mario Lanza.
Oh, yeah.
He was an actor and an opera star, but he was being trained by Terry Robinson.
Yeah.
In the 40s, I think, was Mr. New York City.
Yeah.
Then he went out to California.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures. That sounds familiar. So speaking of California, you told me that you went out there to like Original Golds and maybe Vince's. Was that through the military, which you mentioned before? Or?
Yeah, on weekends I go over there. I go down, I was stationed in San Diego and Long Beach, and then on weekends I'd make my trek to Vince's and the Original Golds.
Well, let's start with Vince's. What are your memories about Vince's?
I remember walking in there, and all of a sudden I said, "This is it." I said, "This is it."
Yeah.
There wasn't no fancy. There wasn't any chrome or anything like that. It was bare, wood, no padding on benches, no radio. That was his thing.
Yeah.
No padding, no radio. No talking or something like. I remember walking, and he was to the right, and he was there at his behind his desk. He said, "Yeah, what do you want?" And right away he knew I was a New Yorker.
I wonder how he knew that.
And I remember looking at, and you got to remember this is about 71. 70, I don't remember, but I remember when I was there. Oh, and then, that was the first time I was there. Then I went a second time, I think it was 1980, when I was out of the military. And I went there, and I remember seeing 2 people who I recognized. One was this guy, Bob Tessier. He was an actor. He always played in motorcycle gangs.
Okay.
He was a real tough-looking guy, and in real life, I heard he was a real He was a Hell's Angel.
Okay.
And then I remember talking to Vince, and as I'm talking, I see in the distance from the rock group Van Halen, David Lee Roth.
Okay.
He was being trained, I remember, by this woman bodybuilder, Kay Baxter.
Oh, yeah.
And I know she died a couple of years later in a car wreck.
Yeah.
But that was, that was all I remember, and I tell you the truth, I was intimidated by Vince because, he was very brash and harsh.
Yeah.
I kicked myself in the ass because I really didn't, embrace the moment.
Yeah.
And then I remember going to Gold's.
Okay. Which location was this in Gold's?
What era?
Which year? Which location was the original on?
No, it was the original.
Yeah.
I think it was Pacific, and it was right across the street from the beach.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was June, 72, 71, but what's his name? Zane was there, Columbo, Schwarzenegger, Waller, Corny. And they were all and I was, whoa, I couldn't believe it. I was in Mecca.
I know.
And I remember it didn't impress me. I was a little disenchanted. Watching Columbo, everything he did was cheating movements. and half movements.
Uh-huh.
You know, it wasn't like the magazine said.
Yeah.
Anything. And I met Joe Gold, who was really a super nice guy.
Where did you meet Joe Gold? Because he was already gone from there at that time.
What? Huh?
Where did you meet Joe Gold? Because he should have already been gone from Gold's Gym for several years at that time.
71, 70, one of those.
Right? Because he sold it around 69, I think, and he sold it, and then he got sold again to Ken Sprague in 72. So maybe he was still hanging out in the 70 or 70, 71. Yeah, even though he didn't own it.
70, 71.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the guys, you know, they were all getting ready for the Olympia.
Nice. Yeah. Did you talk to any of them?
Who did I talk to? I talked a little to Walla. He seemed a little intimidating to me.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, Ed Corney was terrific. I mean, he was a nice guy. He would go, his saying, I'll never forget, he said this, he was married like 8 times, and he would say to me, his saying was, life's a bitch and then you die.
Yeah.
That was one of his sayings. A hell of a nice guy. Zane, I didn't even want to go near because I saw he was really, honed in on his working out.
Yeah.
You know, and Arnold, forget it. He was like, I didn't even have the conversation with him because, he was doing his own thing. I didn't want to train Colombo. I didn't even. Still,
it's pretty awesome that you got to be there and see all that time. I mean, did you go over to the weight pen on the beach at all, or?
No, you know what? I kicked myself in the ass. I didn't go over there.
Yeah.
You know, I was just a 21-year-old.
Yeah, but
narrow-minded. I didn't think ahead to.
Well, no one knew. I mean, you didn't know. You were just seeing the stars, working out.
And then later on, when I went back to California in '80, I think it was '80, I went to Jimmy Morris's gym. But I didn't go in. He was outside. He happened to be standing outside. I knew him from New York here. Real nice guy. He was a retired fireman, and then he did bodyguard work and stuff. I think one of his famous clients were Elton John.
Okay.
But that was it. And
when you were in California, did you go to Pearl's gym at all?
You know what?
It was a little farther away.
I really, the one in Pasadena maybe, but I know he moved that. I'm pretty sure he moved that. I met Bill Pearl at a dinner at the where was it? The New York Sports Club. They were giving the not common.
Well, the AOBS, that's where it started. Was at the New York Athletic Club.
Yeah. And they awarded him, inducted him into the AOB's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Association of All-Time Barbell and Strongman.
What an inspirational talker he was. And I just missed George Eiferman. Terry Robinson gave a speech that was, wow, it blew me away. And like Bill Pearl, what a speaker.
I might have that speech. I know I have some of the early AOBSs on.
Oh, really?
On videotape. They didn't have the really early ones. I think it started in 82 or 83 on Sid Klein's 80th birthday, and then I think the filming they started in 86 or 87. I'm not sure which one Pearl was.
That was in Pearl got an award in, I think it was 93. He also brought his mentor. What's his name? The guy.
Leo Stern. Leo Stern?
Yeah, he brought Leo Stern. Hell of a nice guys. And then I think if it was there, but then they had to move it, after the World Trade Center got bombed.
I didn't realize that's when they moved it, yeah.
They didn't have it in 2001 because the World Trade Center got bombed in September, and they were having this at the end of October.
Yeah, usually.
So it was a mess down there, and they couldn't have it. So the next year they moved it over to Saddlebrook, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Which was the bad. But I remember
that's where I went to. That's about when I went to maybe 5 or 6 of them, and I can't remember the first year. It must have been 2002. I guess because I didn't go to the other location, so it must have been then.
Who was the first? Who'd you see?
God, I don't remember. I know Marvin Eater was there, or I got a photo with him, one of the early ones. I saw Dave Prowse, but that was a little later. I don't remember I don't remember the first one was.
You know who I met? I don't remember. It might have been where the Heisman Trophy was, the downtown. Roy Hilligan.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember, I'm looking for these pictures. I can't find them. And I always have my camera with me. And he was, and I remember looking, I was real close with him. And he had cataracts in both eyes. And you could see the film over the eyes. And I'm going, why wouldn't you get that fixed? Yeah. And I remember, let me see your arms. He rolled his sleeve up.
Yeah.
He rolled his sleeve up and he showed me his arms. Let me see your stomach. He pulled his
Really? That's nice.
Oh, yeah. I heard he did prison time.
Yeah, he was from South Africa, right? And I think he did prison time. I don't want to quote what it was for. I think it was something about his wife, but I don't remember. I don't know really.
I think he did it in Canada maybe or Florida.
I don't know. Yeah.
I remember somebody told me John Grimek used to call him Roy Hilligan, hooligan.
All right, well there you go. That makes sense.
Listen, the guy I saw him. I read stories. I saw him in Iron Man when he was in his 50s. I mean, he was pushing phenomenal.
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah. He was also on the cover. I think there's a cover of him on Iron Man maybe in the late 70s. So decades after his prime, he was still in good shape. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm sure you noticed that. He was only in America a short time in the early 50s, and he won the AAU Mr. America. I don't even think he was a citizen.
Yeah, I think that was controversy. Yeah, I think you're right. I forgot about that. I might have a video of that one. I'm not sure. I have a bunch that I'm going to be releasing. I just got them converted and just doing one at a time as I work on them. But I think, was it 51? I'm not sure. 51? I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
one of those.
Yeah.
And then I met this one guy. He was on the cover of Weeder magazine. He was also on the cover, I think, he might have been on a muscular. He always had he would expand his chest and you'd see a glass of water on it.
It'd be the Darden? Ellington Darden was big into chest expansion.
He was this guy was from the 50s.
Oh, chest
he
is
a Muscle Beach guy. I think
Eferman? Eferman was known for his big chest in Muscle Beach. Eferman? George Eferman?
No. It was a guy, he didn't win any big titles. He won maybe Mr. Muscle Beach, Mr. Venice.
I don't know.
Man, he had a weird, it wasn't a common first name, but I remember seeing him with a side chest pose, and the glass of water was resting on top of his chest.
That's crazy, yeah.
So I remember seeing him at the dinner, and, I said, how you feeling? He goes, if it wasn't for my knees and my shoulders, I'd be good. I go, what do you think your knees are, why your knees are laid? Doing a lot of heavy, high repetition squats. And then I met Craig Whitehead. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's a doctor, right?
Yeah, and he flipped out. Him and his wife took LSD and he flipped out. They had to go to a mental institute. But in the meanwhile, he's at the AOB's BS dinner. And I'm standing behind him. I didn't even know it was him. And what's his name? Artie.
Artie Dressler.
Dressler is, announcing what do you call them? Luminaries.
Okay.
Or the guests there.
The guest of honor, yeah, whatever.
Please stand up when I mention your name. And he mentions Dr. Craig Whitehead. And I'm looking around. All of a sudden, this guy in front of me stands up. And he's getting up and he has a cane and he's trying to stand.
Yeah.
And he's all gray, out of shape. I'm going, oh boy. And then I was talking to him. Yeah, some people hold it together, some don't. Genetics and diet and all that. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm saying. And his knee, he mentioned his knees. I said, what do you think that's from? He goes, squatting. Yeah. I'm going, hey. But then, I want to tell you, when my father had a business in Manhattan, So after work, I'd hop on the train, go about 3 stops up to 42nd Street, and I would go into Mid-City.
That's right. Mid-City Gym.
Let me tell you, this place was hopping. It was full of all the local physique stars, and they had a whole bunch of 42nd Street characters. They were scary, but you know what? I was a 15, 16-year-old kid. They never bothered me. Very friendly. I met, who was it? Bruno Sammartino.
Oh, wow. That must have been impressive. I mean, he's a monster. He's huge.
Hell of a nice guy. Harold Poole. He was like a very laid-back guy, but quiet. I didn't really interact with him. Freddie Ortiz.
Yeah, Bruno, did you talk to Bruno at all? We have a member of Iron History who's a huge Bruno fan.
All I did, say, hey, I'm a big fan. I really, didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Harold, I remember Harold Poole one time was doing pulleys, like in a high pulley machine, and he's pulling it, and the cable snaps. And I remember him taking his handles and like just throwing it up at the wall. I'm going, woo. And then Freddie Ortiz was there, and I'm watching him train.
All the guys, yeah.
He's like using a 60-pound barbell, and he's working his arms and stuff.
So he was kind of a high rep guy. Feel it.
I think he wasn't a heavy rep guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a heavy load guy. And who else? Oh, you probably never heard of this guy, because this guy, I think he was from England, but he transplanted to John Tristram.
Tristram. I've seen the name. It's funny. There's some names that I've seen written, but I've never heard it said out loud because I never get to talk to someone who actually knows his stuff. But yes, I've seen the name.
Yeah. And I remember, seeing him. Nice guy. I said hello. He had a British accent, and he was a training partner of Larry Scott. Sometime that's how I knew who he was. And like I said, these other guys, like local, like Tony Carroll was there. And there's a guy now, you probably know him, Jerry Brainham.
Yeah, sure. Jerry's on, all the podcasts. I follow him on Facebook. He's very great stories. Yeah.
His real name is Jerry Green, and he trained over there at Mid-City. And I'm trying to get a hold of him, but I don't know if he even wants to.
You can get a hold of him on Facebook. He talks to people on Facebook all the time. If you're on Facebook, he posts like every day.
Guy. That's the thing. I'm not a Facebook guy. And,
did you actually know him? Like, did you guys talk? No.
I remember in Mid-City. He was at Mid-City.
Yeah.
And then also,
I've been to Mid-City.
Like guy Bernie, I saw Bernie Booth there. I don't know if you.
I don't know Bernie Booth.
He's from Massachusetts. He trained. He would go in all the local, East Coast shows. And Gary Levy, another guy, all the local East. Johnny Maldonado.
That sounds familiar. Did you ever compete in anything?
No, just the local shows. I mean. Mr. Community Health Center.
Okay.
They held like local, with all the guys from the gym.
That's fun.
And I would get up there, and I remember, I don't know, I probably had a circus mirror, and I probably looked better than I really was.
We all look good in our bathroom mirrors. You gotta get the right lighting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember posing, and I remember the judges, and they weren't even looking at me. They were all BSing with themselves. They were going, hey, I'm up here. Come on. And so that was back. The first show was June 74. And then and then the last one was June 77. I probably placed last each time. And the only trophy I ever got, I kicked myself in the ass. I don't know what I did with it. Was, Lurie had a magazine, Muscle Training Illustrated, and each month he would have name this bodybuilder. You'll get this mystery bodybuilder, and like he would just have maybe half his body.
Yeah.
And I guessed it one month, right? And I sent in my guess, and I won. And they said, trophy will be given to you shortly. Like months go by, And I'm saying, where the heck's my trophy? So I went to his office. I don't know if it was still on Utica or the one on Springfield Boulevard in Queens when he moved.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me a trophy that didn't even have anything to do with me guessing the mystery.
So you wait, hold on. I want to hear. So you showed up with them, and I've seen some pictures. So you asked to speak to Lurie, or he was just standing there, or?
Yeah, no, he was there in his office. The secretary, told him, "Come out, Dan. Somebody wants to." And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." He just gave me a trophy.
What's this? Here you go.
It had nothing to do with me guessing the mystery photo.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you, Dan Lurie was a hell of a nice guy. And the last time I saw him, he had a trailer that opened up on the side, like it was that he advertised they were going to have a Mr. Long Island contest, I think. This was in June 07, and it was a big trailer that he got from Nassau County. They put it on the beach, and this whole side would open up, and the bodybuilders would go in there and pose. And
traveling late.
Steve Mahalik was going to be there as a judge. Freddie Ortiz, I think Anibal Lopez.
I met him. He's very nice. I met him too. He's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he trained the community. Real nice guy. And I said, I'm going there, And he, as a matter of fact, he was a big checkers guy. He loved to play checkers. As a matter of fact,
who, Annabelle?
Younger, he won a championship. He was a checker champion, back in Brooklyn. And, so he was a big fanatic on that. And that was on the boardwalk.
I met, and they were the judges, and they were just local people competing. I met Dan Lurie. He was at AOBS when his book came out, so he came. And so I have a picture of him with me at that time. Oh, hold on, looks like we froze. Picture here froze. Connection's up. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, now you're coming back. That was the first time it froze. Yeah.
All right, but let's see. So wait a minute. The Jones Beach. You know what? I think it might have been Long Beach. No, it was Long Beach, I think. Yeah, that's right. Long Beach. So, the judges were going to be, I think, Anibal, Freddie Ortiz. I met Steve Mahalik there. I knew him from the early 70s. Was
he at Mid-City at the time? I don't know when he got he owned Mid-City at some point, right? Didn't City McCall? He didn't?
Tom Minicello, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, those both M names. Yeah.
He owned Future Man in Amityville, Long Island. That's what happened. And so I went there. I wanted to see Freddie Ortiz. I was so mad he wasn't there. And they had people, judges I didn't even really know. I think Lopez was there, and Mahalik was there. And, I knew him from the early 70s because he did train a community. And
I know Freddie Ortiz is one of those guys that they said would, at least I don't know where I heard this, but pretty sure he's one of the guys that would just take in Diana Ball by the by the dozen, way more than most guys were taking it.
You know what? You speak of that. I remember, because he trained in Mid-City, and I remember I was done training, and he was walking down the steps, and I'm going down the steps, and we come out to 42nd, and he goes to the local hot dog dirty water stand there.
Yeah, I miss my dirty water hot dogs.
And I remember standing there watching, and he gets a can of soda and 2 hot dogs, and he pulls out something out of his pocket, and like a pill something, right? And he puts it in the pot, and I remember him, putting it in his mouth and then taking the soda.
That's what they say.
Washing it down. Yeah. But man, that guy.
His arms,
his arms, his chest, his lats. He was so impressive.
Did he not train his legs, or was that just his genetics? I don't even know.
He didn't have great legs. Maybe because his
he's short too.
Body overshadowed.
He's short, right? Is he kind of short?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was like 5'5".
Something like that. Yeah.
But he was super impressive.
Yeah, his arms, insane. Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. I remember one time there was a guy, I was at Mid-City, he wrote for Weta. He was like a ghost writer. Mm-hmm. And he was wearing all black, and everything. He was like pale, white skin. I forgot his name. Nice guy. And, he saw me a couple of times there as a young kid, 15, 16. And, he was sitting, we talked. He goes, who do you think has better arms, Harold or Freddie? I said, I really, I don't know. I think they both look good. He goes, yeah. He goes, Harold, come on over here. He says, Harold, roll your sleeve up. Harold rolls his sleeve up, flexes his arm. I go, yeah, that's pretty good. He says, Freddie, get over here. Freddie,
oh my God, it's awesome.
Bicep on top of bicep, a tricep under his tricep.
Yeah.
And I go, I think Freddie, incredible, and, and then they, like I said, in Mid-City, they had the characters there.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Like, we say characters, just like, I mean, you already mentioned some of them, but from New York City, I mean, was it like, I don't know, what do you mean by characters? Give me an example.
There were a couple of guys that got out of prison, when they just got out of prison, they were on parole. And I remember this one guy just got out on parole. Oh, man, and I saw him in the magazines. I can't remember. Yeah. I remember Rene Claytor or something. You wouldn't know. But anyway, and I remember when he trained, he would, like, everywhere, when he would do a rep, he'd go, yeah. And
it's precursor of Ronnie Coleman.
Right. Yeah. He would make noise, weird noises. He was funny, though. And there was another guy there. He was never in jail, but he was in a movie called Cruising with Al Pacino.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Well, if you ever see it, you'll know why.
Okay.
And it was filmed in New York, and Tony Carroll was in that, and he had some part in that. Let me tell you. So I think Al Pacino try to stop that movie from getting out there, but it's shown very rarely. It's called Cruising, 1980.
And what did he play? The guy? What was his name? Which one is this? I'm gonna see if I can find it. Tony Carroll. Huh? I'll see if I can find it. But yeah.
You got to see this guy. But he was. I don't want to mention it, but Pacino was an undercover cop who was. It was about. They were killing the gays. There was guys killing gays, and Pacino had to go undercover, and it was intense. The film was intense.
All right, sounds like a good old school New York film.
Didn't want it. And I remember my friend, he went to apply for the because he was in the Screen Actors Guild, and he went to go for an audition. He wanted to play an extra, and he said he got there like 6 o'clock to audition. And he says the line was a mile long to go for the audition. He just turned around and he went. He never got in it. But yeah.
So where did you train during the 80s? So was that Mid-City in the 80s? When did you train there?
I trained there the summer of 67 and 68.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, back there. Oh, you're right. It was Harold Poole and everything, right? Yeah.
Tom Minicello owned it.
Yeah.
What a nice man. Really a great guy.
Did you read his? Yeah, I read it a long time. I have it, but it's been 20 years since I read it. I should reread it. I know it's kind of fictional. They changed names and stuff, right?
Yeah. You recognize those fictional characters.
Yeah, I should probably read it again because I know the names more than I did 20 years ago when I first got into this. So, but I should read that again. Right. Yeah. What? So tell me. We mentioned last week that you knew Dr. Ken Leisner, and kind of tell me about how you met him and what was there.
Well, I used to read his articles, and I heard he opened up a gym about 15 minutes from here, 20 minutes from here in Oceanside, and I was like, in 92. Wow, I can't believe it. Yeah, he opened up a gym in 92. I mean, it was hardcore. And it was great. It had every piece of equipment. And
this is Iron Island? Is this Iron Island?
Iron Island.
Yeah.
And he was changing the pieces every other week. He would swap them out, and he was a big hammer guy, Nautilus.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's a guy. I mean, I don't know if you ever got a... Here's a guy, 150 pounds, 160. He was so powerful. He used to tell me, I'm ligaments and tendons. You know, no muscle, just ligaments and tendons. And I heard his diet. I really just was ice cream, steak.
I always think about that. In one of his articles, not the steak part, but he talked about he wouldn't give up his ice cream. Like, that's part of it.
And he would get his ice cream from this place in Cincinnati, Krieger's it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have it shipped in, you know. Did you
train there?
I trained it, yes. I had to be at my job at 7. So I would get up at 5 o'clock and I'd be there maybe 5:30, quarter to train for 45 minutes, and then, you know, go on my job.
Did you so when you were younger and you were doing more weeder stuff, everyone's training changes as we age and different stages in our life. Did you get into kind of the abbreviated training or high rep squats and all that stuff that can promote in?
It started kicking in, and, you know, finally it came to me that, you know what, I ain't ever going to have 20-inch arms or 50-inch chest. I started getting into brief, intense working out, 20 rep squats, you know, high intensity, basically.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 2 sets, which I believe today is very valid. And I would get into that, and I gained like 25, 30 pounds within 6 months. And
you probably overtrained previously.
Oh man, and I was like I said, I'm still a before after 62.
I hear you, brother.
I you either got it or you don't. And here's another thing where when I got out of the military in December 72, I stayed in California till about April, May of 73. And what happened was when I got out, I trained at this place, Pacific Coast Highway Gym. And it was owned by a guy that was like a Vince Gironda. He made his own equipment. He had a gym outside. He had an inside. And I hooked up with this guy. He was like a street tough guy, but he was a nice guy.
Who was it? What's his name?
Tony Deal.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a terrific build. I mean, he never competed, but man, this guy was built. And I remember walking down Hollywood Boulevard with him, and these 2 big guys, and they're walking towards us, you know, and I would walk on the side. He just walked right between them. He didn't care, you know, and they just, after he passed them, I remember them looking at him, and they probably thought, this guy's crazy. But he was built like, and he got me Diana Ball. And I took Diana Ball. I took 15 milligrams a day. 5 in the morning, 5 mid-afternoon, and 5 at night. And I was a body weight of 150. I could bench at 150, 290, no steroids. So after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, they kicked in, and I was at the gym, and I remember I was warming up. Like I used to warm up before that with like 185, 210. All of a sudden, the 185 felt like a feather. And I remember going up to warming up with 240, right? And then I said, you know what? I'm going to try to max out. The most I did at a body weight of 160, I gained 10 pounds, was 330.
Damn, yeah.
And I felt I could have done more. And I remember the guys in the gym looking at me and they go, whoa, you know, like they were impressed, you know. And I remember saying to myself, you know what, I'm not going to push it, because if I pull a ligament or tendon, forget about it. I'll never be the same.
Hey, watch your finger. Keep your finger off the screen. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Did you? So was that your experiment, or did you do Dianabol for a while, or is that?
No. After, you know, my supply ran out, which was only about maybe 5-6 weeks, I never took it again, because I said, you know what, I'm not going to risk anything. You know, I'll never be an Arnold or a Colombo.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, I went back to New York. I started training at Community again. And then I bought a house in June 77. And then I bought equipment and I trained in that basement. And then I moved to another house, which I'm in now. And I put all my stuff in a garage here that's full of a lot of Hercules posters and.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, like, that's how we met. Is that we both collect stuff, and I've seen you. So, what have you just been collecting it your whole life, or did you get into collecting? Yeah. So, what did you collect? Everything? Posters, magazines, everything.
Anything I can get my hands on. I mean, the magazines. I got rid of a ton of magazines. This guy Larry, he was a nasty guy, man. He just wanted to, I remember, I don't know how I might have put an ad in the paper, and he contacted me, and we were talking on the phone, and at first he didn't want to, make a deal. Then a couple of months later, he calls me, and he says, all right, I'll come over, let me see what you got.
Yeah.
And he pulls up to my driveway, and I remember a Cadillac Escalade, and we dig everything out of my attic. All I know is he gave me $18,000 cash for my magazines.
Wow, what year was this?
Probably 15 years ago.
Wow, 18. I mean, prices have gone up a lot in the past few years. Yeah. So you must have had some good stuff.
I had great stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and I didn't have rare stuff. I just had. Magazines, they didn't publish anymore. I had a lot of, the basic magazines, but then magazines that were published maybe for a year, and then they just didn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
but he took out about 15 cartons of magazines, and then I still had stuff up there, and he wanted them. He said, give me the rest, come on. I said, listen, it was hard for me to part, and I got to tell you this. It bothered me. It really, I was thinking about it when I would sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
It killed me. And
did you just need the money at the time, or you just weren't didn't need it was too much, or?
You know what? I don't know. I just got this premonition. God forbid anything happens to me. It goes in the garbage.
Yeah, you heard that story a lot, a lot of wives are like, what the hell do I do with this stuff?
So, I mean, it killed me. I mean, it bothered me for a couple of weeks. So, in the meanwhile, he says to me, give me the other stuff. Come on, I see you got a lot of stuff. He started getting crazy, And I said, listen, give me 6 months. He goes, I'll call you back in a couple of weeks. And you better be ready to sell them. And I told him when he called me, I said, no, I'm not done looking at him. He goes, don't call me again. And that was it. And over time, I would call him. And then he died like a couple of years ago, but right before he died, I sold him some more stuff, but really wasn't a lot. And what he would do is he would get him. He had a website. It was called Mid-City Collections. Huh. I don't think it's up on there anymore.
I don't remember that.
And he used to sell the magazines. He had a warehouse.
Oh, he had an eBay. He had an eBay handle, Mid-City.
Yes, he did.
I remember that. Yeah.
He was in competition with that guy David Dragon.
Yeah. You know what? I might have bought. I have a Sandow, Pomeroy Sandow statue. I might have gotten it from him. The Mid-City guy.
Tell you.
I think I might have gotten it from him. Like, this was probably like 7-8 years ago, something like that. 6-7 years ago.
I think he might have died back then.
It might have been around then. Yeah.
What I heard also was when he passed away, his family just took the stuff and put it in a dumpster or something.
Yeah.
And and you know what? He used to live in Queens, and then I heard he moved out here, which maybe 20 minutes from me, and I it just bothered the heck out of me,
Yeah, it's hard to describe it to collectors, but other collectors, but it's hard to make it rational because it's not really rational. Just I'm doing what we like,
Yeah. So, like I said, I got all these Hercules and Hercules posters. All the guys that played Reg Park, Steve Reeves, Lou Degny, Brad Harris. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put him up. What's his name? Golden Book Era?
Carlos, Carlos, yeah.
I got to get a hold of him. If you talk to him,
occasionally.
give him my phone number. Can you do that?
Yeah.
give him my phone number because I got to talk to him because I can't communicate too well on the.
Okay.
All right. And
He'll probably see this.
Yeah. Huh?
I said he'll probably see this.
Yeah, good. I hope he does. And, I'm not computer savvy or iPhone savvy. That's why I'd like him to call me if he can. Because I really like to show him what I got.
Yeah, for sure.
I see his stuff on YouTube all the time. Wow, it's impressive. And I got a bunch of Reg Park movie posters, originals and stuff.
Did you ever see Lou Ferrigno? I mean, he played correctly sometimes.
Yeah, I was friendly with the guy.
Yeah.
He used to train at Community Health Center. He was an out-of-work sheet metal worker. And what happened was he used to come to Community. And, he trained there with his friend Hank, who's also in Pumping On. They show him going to R&J, and he's, cheering him on. Come on, Lou. Yeah. And I remember one time, this was back, had to be 73. I remember I was downstairs changing, and my girlfriend at the time was upstairs waiting for me, and I come upstairs, and he's talking to her, and she's, he's talking and talking. I want to get to where I'm going, and I says, "You ready?" And he goes, "Whoa! I want to take her home, meet my mother. She'll make us spaghetti and meatballs." And I go, "You know what?" I say to myself, years later, I should have let him. And I mean, he was a nice guy. He was big. He was tremendous.
Yeah.
And so he trained there between Community Health Center and R&J. And I met, who else I met from R&J? Pete Caputo.
Oh yeah, I know the name. What did RJ stand for? Was it R&?
You know what? Julie Levine owned it. I know maybe the J was for Julie. I don't know what the R was for. Maybe it was his partner's first name.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you, but I know it was a big gym in Brooklyn, R&J, and they had a bunch of big guys from there. But I remember talking to Caputo. He was outside of a Dan Lurie show, and he had this pullover top with like a V-neck, and it showed his upper pecs. He had the best upper pecs I ever saw, and he was an extremely good-looking guy.
I hate those guys.
He had it. I know he was in local shows. He was in Dan Lurie shows.
Hey, I appreciate he's on some covers.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Maybe was he? I don't even know if he was on Iron Man.
I feel like I've seen it on cover of 70s Iron Man, but I could be wrong.
He might have been on one cover.
Yeah.
I don't think he was ever on a Weeder cover. But I remember he placed in a NABA Mr. Universe. He placed in it, but extremely good-looking guy. And that's about it.
Did you ever have any interactions with? Did you ever go to any weightlifting shows? Like, did you ever see Hoffman or?
Yeah, I went to York a show. I remember it was in conjunction with. I went up there with Jimmy Morris one time. We went from Community Health Center. We went up there to York, and I remember they had the show like 2:00 in the morning, the physique show.
Yeah.
2:00 in the morning. I tell you, I was wiped out. Forget it.
Yeah, it was always a second thought, right? It was after the weightlifting.
It was like an afterthought. Hoffman was a big weightlifting guy. You know what? I saw Hoffman. I spoke to him. He didn't stop yapping. Wow, he just went on and on, and that was about it.
Yeah. You want to move your thumb again? It's in the film.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. What about Grimek? Did you ever speak to Grimek?
Oh yeah, when I was at the dinner. You didn't see him at the dinner?
It was after my time. Before my time. He passed in '98, I think. So yeah. I just started lifting in '99. I didn't know the dinner was 2001. I was only I started was 19. I'm 45 now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a pup.
Yeah.
But he was at the dinner all the time when I was there. And he always had a seat on the podium there.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, what a nice guy. And I remember him telling the story. I used to go to Jersey to see my sister. So every time we would pass, what was it where he was born? Him and Stanko came from the same area.
Yeah, I know it too. Something P, no. Pomeroy. I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can find it in 2 seconds.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So I would see the sign, and right away I think of Grimek. You know, I said,
I've done it too. I've driven by there, and I'm like, oh, this is where John Grimek was born.
oh, come on, it's still there.
I know. Hold on. Yeah, Perth Amboy. There it is.
Perth
Amboy.
right?
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
my wife
yeah.
be in the car with me, and I go, you know who's from Perth Amboy? She goes, who? So I go, John Grimek. She goes, who's that? I said, 2-time AAU Mr. America.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
41. And she said that. She goes, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, in those words. So I told Grimek the story,
Yeah.
you know, and he laughed, you know, and stuff. What a real, and then I shook his hand. It was like shaking a gorilla's hand. I mean, you could feel the power in it.
I know, I've talked to Jan Dellinger a bunch. Of course, he knew Grimek well, but I remember him talking about also his wrists. And people would look at his wrists and think they were broken or something was wrong with them because they were so thick that you weren't used to seeing wrists that big.
What a genetic, gifted man, you know. And they said he was squatting like in his 500s up until his 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
You know, he was probably one of the strongest individuals. Him, probably Marvin Eder. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, you know, and. I look at that cover, the first Muscular Development with him on the cover.
Oh, yeah, 64.
He was 55. He was 55.
Yeah,
so
but 64.
He was about 55. Because he was born in, 1910?
1910. Yeah. I just pulled it up. You're right. Yeah.
I know all this useful information. I can't remember to buy a quart of milk.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's more important that I know this information.
Did you ever do the gallon of milk thing? When you ever do that thing?
Yeah,
with squad.
I drank milk every day.
Yeah.
And speaking of protein, I used to drink this stuff, Protein of the Sea.
You had it? You did it. You're one of those guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's the stuff.
That was brutal. And I used to mix it in orange juice, man.
Oh,
it smelled like
that's horrible.
Died at Coney Island.
The most infamous.
It smelled like the New York City subway. I'm serious. But I drank it. Oh, man. And I took Energol.
Yeah.
You know, it was a wheat germ. I took Energol and Hoffman's protein.
Yeah.
That was the worst crap. And not to get off that, but I remember reading one of the books where Bob Guida was at the WIDA headquarters. And it had a... sign on the door that said "WIDA Labs" or something like that.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, and it's a
janitor's closet. Yeah. And then the famous story about that's WIDA, and the famous story about Hoffman was that he was making the chocolate and protein, and he's just mixing it with the paddle, and then adding more Hershey's chocolate to it to make it taste better. Yeah.
And I remember getting Hoffman's suntan lotion.
Well, I got him. Hold on a second.
Okay, good.
Let's see. Yeah, 1 second. I dropped one, but I got one. I have two of them. One just fell down, but see, I got this guy here. It's Hoffman suntan lotion.
Wow.
I have another one, actually, just a plastic one, but that's...
Is that the white plastic?
That's the white one. I have it, but I tried to grab it, and it just fell on top, and I can't reach it now.
Is there still stuff in there?
No, those are empty. This one still has stuff in it. It's scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could probably put that on eBay. Somebody will buy it.
No, I bought it off eBay, probably. Probably. I'm the sucker who bought it. Okay. No, I have a friend gave me the suntan lotion, the other ones, the white ones. Yeah.
And let me see. Of course, the wheat germ. Let's see what else.
This is actually supposed to be good stuff. That's what they say.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, let's burn my face off. It'll be great.
Yeah. And I remember taking Wheatus protein. That was horrible. I took Blast protein. That was the best.
That's
protein.
what they say. Yeah.
Oh my God! I took it with milk half and half. I don't believe you could, get cut with that, but it was the best tasting protein I ever had. And there is a guy that sells it, not exactly to that form.
Yeah, here's a website.
Truly Huge.
Okay.
Truly Huge.
Okay.
You ever see that website?
I have. But there's also still selling Blair's protein. Someone is.
What?
Someone's selling it.
I know who.
Yeah.
That NSP guy.
Maybe. I don't know. But I've seen you go on the website. There's a website. At least maybe not right now, but recently I looked some past couple of years for sure. Yeah.
But supposedly after Blair died, this guy Freddie Lindblad got it, and it died the formula with him. But
I don't know if it's exact
guy
formula or
that
not.
was one of Gironda's friends. He's out in Detroit. That's it. He's in Detroit. This guy. I forgot his name. NSP Protein. If you get a chance, look it up. But the guy, Truly Huge, he's originally from New York here, Queens. But he sells it. It's a little pricey,
Yeah.
I tried it. It was good, but not as like Blair's. It was phenomenal. You know what I do when I get protein powder? I mix it with non-fat dry milk.
Yeah, I used to get cheaper protein that way. Yeah, I've done that. Barney, I think I actually have to run soon because I have my kid's soccer game. But it has been absolutely fun and a pleasure. You're like the Forrest Gump of New York bodybuilders. You remember all these. You read all the things. That's so cool.
Yeah. I wish I could remember more. Believe me.
See if you can find some of those pictures. You said you had some pictures. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that'd be good. Because I'll see if you can find some. I can put them with the video when we put this up.
Are you an Arnold fan at all?
Yeah, of course. Who is an Arnold fan? Yeah.
I got Arnold poster, and I got when he made his first movie, Hercules in New York.
Yeah.
You know who that was with, right? Who was his co-star?
Oh, I don't know. The bear he wrestled? The bear in the costume they wrestled?
No, this guy was like a nerd. He was in a couple of Arnold Stang. He was like a local nerd. He was in a couple of films.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever saw him, he was in some films and everything,
Okay.
But I'll get when I show you those pictures.
Yeah,
I got a picture. I jumped up on stage at the Olympia. I think it might have been the first or second year Arnold was there. And I took a picture. Very rare. Nobody else has it.
Let's see it. You took a picture of Arnold like this? Like a selfie or Arnold? Or?
I was right there. He was like 3/4 turn. You just see the separation in his chest, I mean, it wasn't a close-up. Maybe I was 6 feet away, but nobody has that.
So it had been 69, I'm guessing then, right? It must have been when Arnold was...
Well, he was there in 68, right?
I don't think so. I think he came to America in 68, but I don't think he competed in 68.
You sure? Because Sergio beat him
in 69. No, 69.
No, and then Arnold won in 69.
70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. No, because when he won 75, that was the 6th one. So it had 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. So he had 170. He won in 70,
okay.
Yeah.
So I was back saying, now, listen, when you get a chance, look up John DeCola.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny, I have a picture from AOBS, but not when he's younger. I like a visual of him, yeah.
64 Junior Mr. America.
Okay.
Right, listen, I'll let you go.
That was so much fun. We'll talk again.
You're good.
And I'll see you soon. That was a blast. Thanks, Barney.
All right, call Wano.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
No, call me on my phone there.
Okay. All right.
Great talking to you.
Good talking to you, too. All right, take care. Bye.
Right.